So I've been educated as a veterinarian in Romania. My interest in animals has been it's been known for a long time. I mean, I raised with animals, and I was kind of in love with birds and rabbits and chickens and all farm animals since I was a kid. And I remember how I was saving birds off the street, falling off the trees, and took them home, took care of some, and they all died, you know, and I didn't know why they died. And till I went to a vet and he explained me how to feed them and what to feed them. And I was always amazed how he took care of those animals. So when I got in high school, I decided, yeah, I'm going to be a veterinarian. I left Romania in 1987 and got to Texas a couple of months later, and in 1990 I took my board here, my national board, and got into an internship in Missouri for a year, and came back to Texas, and I'm practicing small animals since 1991 basically here in Texas. I always had like special interest in birds and in rabbits. As I said from the very beginning, I grew up with chickens, and probably my first cases were like birds, because I was a kid when I started to treat them. But when I started to work as a veterinarian, I saw like a big window in this domain, because not too many veterinarians were taking care of these creatures. Also, before I was a veterinarian, I got a master in animal science, so it was pretty simple to go and treat these exotic animals, because I knew so much about them. When I didn't know how much I know before I started to do work on them. And also I have a special interest in orthopedics. You know, I do I would say almost any fracture I can fix them, and mainly this is what I like. I like orthopedics, and I like to do these exotic animals as much as I have a chance to put my hand on them. I would say that one of the most interesting cases was like an opossum. It belonged to some twin girls from Dallas, and they came in with this opossum, and pretty soon I found out he got heart failure. And I have never treated a opossum for heart failure, and I tried to Google it and find about this about opossums. I couldn't find anything how to treat them, but I did a treatment the same way I do it on a cat, and I had pretty amazing results. You know, his fluid got off the chest, his heart was beating normal, he started to eat, and he lived another 8 months, which was a lot, because like a lifespan of a possum is about 2.5 years, and for a possum who was like 2.5 years and he lived another 8 months on medication, that was a lot. And I just found out they got a new opossum now. Becker Animal Hospital, it's a place where you have lots of challenge, because we got lots of very dramatic cases. I would say starting with trauma cases, which they come in as emergency base. Also we get lots of medical cases which they've been neglected or they haven't been treated properly before. And emergency cases, as I said, they can be challenging, and I like about this place because we practice a good quality. You know, the quality of the medicine here is very high. We got the facility, we got the medical capabilities, we got the medical instruments, we got the diagnostic tools here, and I like it because, you know, like you take a pet in and you can take x-rays in a couple of minutes, you get the blood work in 30 minutes, you can put him in oxygen, you can put him on surgery table. You basically can run all the diagnostics in anywhere from 20 minutes to 2 hours, which is amazing. Most of the places will take hours, will take days. It's true that we cope a lot with decision to put or not to put a pet to sleep. End life treatment, you know, or taking care of an old sick pet it could be challenging for the veterinarian and for the owner. We got to look what's the best for the pet and what's the best for the owner. And I tell you something, it's very hard to make a decision. I remember when I had to put my dog to sleep, it was very, very hard. And whenever I have to make a decision, I look back and how I decided, how much I postponed it. I went through so many feelings. I went through guilt, I went to hope, I went to losing hope. And it's amazing how I, as a veterinarian, hope to the very last second, you know. And as I said, it's very challenging, you know. Sure, every single case you put to sleep, it's affecting you. I mean, it's no way not to be affected with it. And if you kept a pet here for a day or 2 or 3 days, that's very tough, because by that time you are attached to it. And not only you can see the staff attached to the pet, you know. But unfortunately, you know, we got to make some decisions sometimes, which we may not like to do them, but it's ultimately, I think you got to look what's the best for the pet, because if the pet cannot take care of himself, if he's suffering too much, if he cannot eat, if he cannot go out and do his business, you know, I think it's time, you know. And the pet will tell you, or also the owner, you know, he understands that it's time to put it to do it. Sometimes we have to maybe to encourage the owner to say, yeah, you got to do it, you know, or it's time to do it. And as I said, I went through guilt like they go, and I understand how much it takes to do it. Actually, it takes courage to do it, and also takes love, because, you know, if you do something for your pet, you got to do it always from love. I come from a big family. We are like 7 brothers, 2 sisters. But I've been married for 25 years, and my wife is a mechanical engineer. She works into the medical field, and I have 2 boys. One is doing like a bachelor in English, so hopefully he's going to graduate by next spring. And the youngest kid, Scott, who is like 22 years old, he just got into the pharmacy school at Texas A&M. So I think they'll make it, you know. And next step is to see them married to a good woman.